Well, I don't know about the rock guitar legend thing. I certainly didn't start out trying to become a rock guitar legend. Just loved music from the beginning, and that was my complete motivation factor, the thing that kept me going. And it just, the whole thing for me was just a big journey to this point, and it still is a journey, you know, and the stuff that I came up with reflects that. So at various points of that journey, I always tried to go to different plateaus and explore and progress, you know. So in the beginning, when I first started with the electric guitar, that was back in the late 60s, I was very much influenced by initially the Beatles, and then I got into the Cream and Jimi Hendrix. And then at the same time I started playing classical music, and those two things then kind of merged into something else, you know. And then when we formed the new Scorpions, so to say, that took on a different meaning, and we did several albums, and each album was part of that journey, you know. Until I came to a point when I felt that the framework that we had set ourselves wasn't really quite the direction I wanted to go in. I wanted to be free to explore music in a different way and not be hampered by commercial aspects, you know, which really didn't interest me at all. And so there was only one thing to do, and that was to leave the Scorpions, you know. And a lot of people thought that was the craziest move imaginable. But for me it was the only move imaginable. And then from then I did kind of got my bearings doing a solo thing. I formed this band Electric Sun, and we did 3 albums and 1 American tour, and that was like in the mid-80s. And again, that was another part of that journey, and again I came to a point when I felt that journey had come to an end, and I needed to yet again find another plateau, which that framework didn't allow me. And that's when I dropped out of the business completely. I kind of quit the entire rock and roll circus in the mid-80s, and I didn't play publicly for a span of say 13 years or 14, except for maybe a couple of appearances here and there. And I started to write more symphonic music with orchestras, and eventually I started to get back into live playing. And the first thing that made me do that was a call from Joe Satriani asking me to join the European G3 tour, which we did, and I started enjoying touring again through that. Ever since then, I got back into that vibe, and came to a point when I became very comfortable with merging all these different things, you know. So that's pretty much where I'm now, you know, in this this journey. So I was constantly creating music, or also I did a lot of other things, creative things, painting, oil paintings. I wrote a lot of philosophical stuff. I was thinking a lot, and I'm still doing that. I'm still thinking a lot. And that led me to something which is called Sky Academy. And we're not talking just about the guitar, but we're talking a lot about the metaphysics of music, like the meaning behind the notes, how to make the right choices at the right time, you know, about inspiration, about what it is and what it isn't. A lot of basically the things that you don't get so much in traditional guitar seminars. So it's not, it's meant to be like a complementing the traditional approach, you know. Learning the instrument is only one thing, but our thing is trying to take it beyond to another level, you know, because a lot of people get stuck in what they do. They become quite good, and then they find that they stagnate, and this shouldn't be like that. And I'm trying to show them ways to get out of that rut in an organic way, and to find their own next level and new plateau. Just like I always found these new plateaus, and if I hadn't, then I would have quit music a long time ago, because I wouldn't feel happy doing the same thing again and again and again and again. I believe in the evolution of art. It's got to be relevant, and one shouldn't, in my book at least, one shouldn't repeat oneself. So we're always trying to, even when playing old songs, it's about that, you know. They shouldn't be static. You know, every person is different. There are certain traps people fall into, and it very much relates to the way we lead our lives. A lot of people, the stagnation in the playing is very often reflected in the stagnation of a person's life. It's a mindset, and it's kind of the problem is very often that a lot of musicians don't really fully connect with the music. They play the music, they play the instrument, but there's barriers in between them and the instrument, and there's obstacles and blockages in their mind. So the aim is to remove these and to enable you to connect with music on a much deeper level. So there is no more obstacle between you and the instrument, and it just flows naturally. And that's a certain state of mind, that's a certain place which is magical, and that's the only place that really allows you to, you know, be inspired and to really play music in a meaningful way. Now, a lot of people play a lot of notes, that every note has a meaning, or should have a meaning, and can have a meaning, and it's a deep meaning, and together they form the whole picture, you know, and the realm where everything goes. But as a composer and as a writer and as somebody who's creative, it's very important to have a relationship with the absolute as well. And for every melody, there's one perfect way of doing it, regardless of taste. You know, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that we're ever actually finding it, but it's good to know that it's there and to search for it. And if we prime ourselves to always search for that, eventually we may get pretty close to something that's pretty good.